there are some in our party who say, well, you know, it's the public that's at fault, it's not the party, and so on and so forth. And we just need to hang in there, dig our heels in deep, and just still push for those issues and positions that we feel are important and that they're right, and sooner or later somebody will see the light. Well, I gotta tell you, I think there's been some significant changes going on. Our party is becoming more and more of a minority party, and there is a very, very large segment of the electorate that are independents or declined to state, and they're considered to be independent voters. And those independent voters have become a very big factor in all of the elections today. So we not only have to have support from our base, but we've got to do some things to expand that base, and we've got to do some things to attract the independent voters if we're going to elect Republicans to office. We can't just keep going down the path that we've been on because it isn't succeeding. I'm just going to give you my opinion. I'm no longer in office. I can kind of say what I want now. And I'm just going to give you my opinion of some things that I think we need to do. Some of you will agree, some will not agree. But again, I was invited as the speaker. I get my opinion. In the next few years, we have to identify ourselves with working men and women in our state and in our country. And we have to recognize that the leaders in the large corporations and businesses are playing both sides. This is something that went on even when I was governor, probably even more so now. I remember that when Gray Davis ran for governor, he got $65 million from the business community. $65 million. We never even had a whole campaign that cost that much money. I'm saying that while the business community should recognize that the principles of most Republicans are in tune with the private enterprise system. Unfortunately, a lot of decisions are made by some of the business leaders listening to political consultants, and all they want to do is have access. And they're told by their political consultants, if you donate to the Democrats, who are going to win or they're a majority, it's going to give you access whenever there's an issue that you're interested in. As a result, they contribute to both sides. And all I'm saying is, we want their support, and we will continue to hold principles of free enterprise. But at the same time, we have to identify ourselves with working men and women and not be tied to just corporate executives. We need to adopt a policy of Republican friendship and identify with ethnic communities. Because when you take all the ethnic communities and combine them, they're now the majority in California. And we have to identify with these communities and take steps to reach out to them, let them know that we are as interested in advancing their lives, their careers for themselves and their children as anybody else. We have to identify ourselves with women, especially women in the workforce. And we have to demand that women be treated equally at all levels in the workplace. We have to identify ourselves with fiscal responsibility. Now, we pretty much have been successful at that, although I have to tell you, we've had a couple or one or two recent Republican presidents who did not adhere to fiscal responsibility, as we know it. We have to establish a policy in government that prohibits spending more than we receive, and to do away with the pork barrel spending. Now, if we're going to have a successful economy and a good quality of life for everyone, we have to have a well-educated and a well-trained workforce. So education is extremely important for the benefit not only of the individuals and their families, but for society, for all of society. Recently I saw a segment on television talking about the unemployment rate and saying that there are jobs available, but there are not individuals who are qualified for those jobs. And therefore, some of the businesses are looking for employees from other countries to come and fill those jobs. It's extremely important that we identify ourselves with educational opportunities, improvements, and accountability. We've always been identified with public safety issues. We just need to reinforce that. That's extremely important to the electorate, and we've been pretty successful at that in the past. We just need to make sure we don't lose that, and we have to reinforce ourselves. God knows we need an improvement in the infrastructure of this state. We should be committed to a strong 10-year program for improving the infrastructure throughout the state and in local communities. I don't know about you, but I don't like driving over all these potholes and causing damage to cars and other difficulties that arise from it. And this is a great source for creating employment opportunities. So we need to make it clear that Republicans are in favor of rebuilding our infrastructure, helping to create jobs, helping to improve the economy. We have to select candidates and party leaders with impeccable character and proven experience. We need to seek women and members of minority communities to be candidates for office and for party leadership as well. Now, I don't know how much I mean, we're in bad shape. We're in bad shape, and I don't know how much further we can go. And we have to change it. We have to turn it around. And I'm simply saying that we can do all these things that I've mentioned, still adhering to our basic Republican principles of fiscal responsibility, strong support for the private enterprise system, strong support for a growing economy and job creation. So anyway, I've talked longer than I told Paul I was going to talk, so I'll stop. I'll stop now, and there's a lot more that I could ramble on about. Please forgive me. As I said, I'm rusty and I'm getting old, and I'll take any excuse you can give me. But anyway.
Governor Deukmejian is a longtime Long Beach resident and just weeks ago introduced and praised Mayor Bob Foster at the Mayor's State of the City message. So we asked the governor for comment on a local issue that the governor had just listed as important statewide, public safety.
The Long Beach City Council over the last 3 budget years balanced its budget by cutting roughly 140 sworn officers out of a total of about 960 available citywide. What should the Republican position be, if any, on that?
Well, it's not a Republican or Democratic issue. That crosses party lines. And in terms of the city's budget, I'm not and have not been actively involved in that. I think a lot of negotiations go on between the city manager, city council members, and then those who represent the police and the fire. And as far as I know from just reading the papers, I guess they've worked out certain agreements or solutions. But certainly we need to maintain a strong presence of law enforcement in the city as possible. We're a very large city, and public safety is a top priority. So I'm just hoping that the decisions that are made keeping in mind that the primary consideration is the safety of the public.